Dear parents, welcome to Parenting with Knowledge. I am Nina. Long ago, in a land far away, lived a man named Daniel. Daniel was a good man. He loved God very much. He talked to God every day. He prayed to God every day. Daniel obeyed God's rules, even when it was hard. Daniel lived in a grand palace. He worked for the king. The king liked Daniel. He saw how smart Daniel was. He saw how kind Daniel was. The king gave Daniel a very important job. Many important men worked at the palace. These men were jealous of Daniel. They wanted Daniel's job. They wanted to get rid of him. But Daniel was a good worker. He did not do anything wrong. The jealous men were angry. They had to think of a plan. They watched Daniel closely. They knew that Daniel prayed to God. They knew that Daniel prayed 3 times every day. "We must find a way to use this against him," they whispered to each other. Their faces were full of mischief. The jealous men came up with a wicked plan. They had been watching Daniel for a long time, envious of his favor with the king and his unwavering faith. They knew they had to find a way to bring him down, but it had to be clever and foolproof. They went to the king, their hearts pounding with anticipation. They had rehearsed their words carefully, knowing that the king was a man who loved to be flattered. "O king," they said, bowing deeply, "you are so mighty and powerful. There is no one like you in all the land. Your wisdom and strength are unmatched." The king liked to hear this. He smiled at the men, his ego swelling with their praise. He was always pleased when his subjects recognized his greatness. "We think you should make a new law," they said earnestly, presenting a scroll. "A law that everyone must obey. It will show your authority and ensure that your subjects remain loyal to you. For the next 30 days, they continued, no one should be allowed to pray to anyone but you, our king. This will prove their loyalty and devotion to you above all others. And if they do," they added with a sinister glint in their eyes, "they must be thrown into the lion's den. This will ensure that no one dares to defy your command." The men smiled slyly at each other, knowing that their plan was foolproof. They had set a trap that Daniel would surely fall into, given his unwavering faith. This was their plan to get rid of Daniel. They were confident that the king would agree to their proposal, and once the law was in place, Daniel's fate would be sealed. They could hardly contain their excitement as they imagined their rival being thrown into the lion's den, never to be seen again. Section 4. The King's Decree. The king did not know about the men's wicked plan. He thought this new law was a good idea. He liked the idea of everyone praying to him. He agreed and made it a law. He commanded his servants to write the new law down. Once the law was written, it could not be changed. Not even the king could change it. The law was announced throughout the land. It was posted on walls for all to see. Section 5. A Night with the Lions. This is a story of courage, faith, and unwavering devotion. Daniel heard about the new law. The law stated that no one was allowed to pray to any god or man except the king for 30 days. But Daniel knew that he should pray only to God. He had always been faithful and wasn't about to change his ways now. He went home and opened his windows. He wanted everyone to see that he was not afraid to show his devotion. Just like he always did, he knelt down and prayed to God. Daniel was not afraid. He believed that his faith would protect him. He knew God would keep him safe. His heart was filled with peace and trust. The jealous men were hiding outside. They saw Daniel praying. They were excited. They had finally caught him breaking the law. They ran to the king. "Your Majesty," they cried. They were eager to report Daniel's actions. "Daniel is breaking your law," they exclaimed with glee, hoping to see him punished. "He is praying to his God and not to you," they accused, their voices filled with malice. They wanted to see Daniel suffer for his faith. Section 6. God's Powerful Protection. The king was sad to hear this. He liked Daniel. He didn't want to punish him. But the law could not be changed. The king had to punish Daniel. Daniel was thrown into the lion's den. The den was a deep, dark pit. It was full of hungry lions. A large stone was rolled over the opening. The king went back to his palace. He was very sad. He did not eat or sleep that night. He hoped and prayed that Daniel would be safe. Section 7. A Lesson in Courage and Faith. In the morning, the king rushed back to the lion's den. His heart pounded with a mix of hope and dread. He had spent a sleepless night, tormented by the thought of Daniel facing the ferocious lions. The king had grown fond of Daniel and admired his unwavering faith and integrity. As he hurried through the castle corridors, his mind raced with thoughts of what he might find. He called out in a worried voice, "Daniel, Daniel, are you still alive?" His voice echoed through the dark, foreboding pit. The silence that followed was almost unbearable. The king's heart sank as he feared the worst. He had seen the lions' ferocity and knew that no ordinary man could survive a night in their den. "Did your God save you?" he added, his voice trembling with anxiety. The king had heard of Daniel's God, the one true God, but he had never witnessed his power firsthand. This moment was a test of faith, not just for Daniel, but for the king as well. The king held his breath, waiting for an answer. The seconds felt like hours as he stood there, peering into the darkness. His mind was a whirlwind of emotions: fear, hope, doubt, and anticipation. He knew that this moment could change everything. Then he heard Daniel's voice. It was faint at first, but it grew stronger. "O king, live forever!" Daniel called out. The king's heart leapt with joy and relief. He could hardly believe his ears. Daniel was alive. "God sent his angel to shut the mouths of the lions," Daniel continued. "They have not hurt me, because I was found innocent in his sight. Nor have I ever done any wrong before you, O king." The king was overjoyed. He had witnessed a miracle, a testament to the power of Daniel's God. The king's face lit up with a smile, and he clapped his hands in sheer delight. He had never felt such a profound sense of happiness and relief. The God of Daniel had proven his might and mercy in the most incredible way. He ordered his servants to bring Daniel out of the den immediately. The servants rushed to the pit and carefully pulled Daniel out. The king watched with bated breath, his heart swelling with gratitude and admiration for Daniel's unwavering faith. When they lifted Daniel out, everyone could see that he was completely unharmed. The crowd that had gathered around the den erupted in cheers and applause. It was a moment of triumph, a victory of faith over fear, and of divine protection over mortal danger. The king was so happy that he made another law. He wanted everyone in the kingdom to know about the miracle that had taken place. He decreed that from that day forward, everyone should worship Daniel's God, the one true God who had saved Daniel from the lions. This new law said that everyone in the kingdom should worship Daniel's God, the one true God who had saved Daniel from the lions. The people of the kingdom were in awe of the miracle and began to worship and praise the God of Daniel. It was a turning point for the entire kingdom, a moment of spiritual awakening and renewal, and so Daniel was safe, all because he trusted in God. His faith had not only saved him, but had also inspired an entire kingdom to believe in the power and mercy of the one true God. Daniel's courage and faith had left an indelible mark on the hearts and minds of the people, a legacy that would be remembered for generations to come. Thanks for watching. Like and share. Subscribe if you haven't done so.